Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM The Jag. Here with Angelo of Mobile Bay Coins. I'm going to be at Mobile Bay Coins later this morning from 9 until 10. They're at 2204 Government Street. Saw that the president tweeted out his endorsement of Luther Strange. He's been tweeting a lot this morning, by the way. He's been retweeting Fox and Friends. He's retweeted a lot of Fox and Friends tweets today, so congratulations to Fox and Friends. Last night, the president tweeted an endorsement of Luther Strange in the Senate primary. The tweet reads, Senator Luther Strange has done a great job representing the people of the great state of Alabama. He has my complete and total endorsement. And now, Angelo, you're shaking your head.
Well, I am. Again, this baffles me a little bit for that to be thrown out there like that.
Now, Angelo used the word baffle. That's the word that Mo Brooks used. Mo Brooks sent out a press release this morning saying that he is baffled and disappointed that Mitch McConnell and the swamp had misled President Trump into endorsing Luther Strange. And he went on to list things that he doesn't like about Luther Strange. He also said in his release that he continues to support President Trump's agenda. So he's not attacking President Trump. He's saying President Trump has been misled.
That's a very politically safe way of throwing that out there.
But again, this is, I'm really curious as to how this did come about, how the endorsement came about behind the scenes. Do we believe that President Trump is capable of being misled by Mitch McConnell and the swamp?
I would say no at this point. He seems to be very, very independent to the point of doing whatever it is he wants to do, whether or not anybody else is pointing him in a particular direction.
Now, we've watched, I don't know, maybe you haven't, but there have been lots and lots of campaign commercials on television, many of them featuring Mo Brooks attacking Donald Trump. You know, you've seen them, right?
I have not seen those.
You haven't?
Like I said, I still don't watch a lot of television.
So this just may be one of these things where you were not, Mo Brooks was not always in support of Donald Trump. So this may be a little payback.
Well, that's the thing is nowadays anything that's said, anything that's done out there is going to be permanent. So if you make a comment pro Donald Trump or against Donald Trump, somebody has saved that soundbite somewhere. It might take them a little while to dig it up, but they're going to find it, and at some point it will be used against you.
So he's endorsed Luther Strange. The president has endorsed Luther Strange. I don't know if that helps Luther Strange against Roy Moore, but it may be, the net result may be just a non-endorsement of Mo Brooks. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
We're looking at an accident on St. Stephen's near the I-65 interchange. That's been working for a while. We aren't seeing much, though, in terms of interstate problems this morning. Traveling I-10 across the Bayway through the Wallace Tunnel, the Causeway, and the Bankhead. I-65 from Pritchard and Chickasaw to the I-10, still moving along a bit in good shape at this still early stage of the morning drive. It's the first day of the new school year in Satsuma. Slow down through those school zones. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation.
Hey everybody, I'm Eric Church, asking you to join me in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS through the T.J. Martell Foundation. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn about music's promise for a cure.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday, everybody. It's going to feel like a steam bath early by the afternoon, about a 50-50 shot of wet weather. We're going to be flirting with 90 degrees for the high today. Dress light, keep the umbrella close, and we're going to keep the status quo as we head into Thursday. The weather pattern remains unchanged as we head into the weekend. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News and this iHeartRadio station.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation. Join the TJ Martell Foundation in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn more.
Roll Tide. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show continues here. Angelo's here from Mobile Bay Coins. We'll get back to the whole endorsement of Luther Strange, Mo Brooks' reaction, all of that as we continue, and also probably bring up the whole North Korean thing, which people are understandably very interested in and wondering where that's all going. But first I want to bring Ariel on here because so many people have gone back to school. In Mobile County, it was back to school yesterday. And I believe today is Satsuma, and Ariel's son started K3 at age 2.5. He started K3 this week. Now, first day, there were jitters, and he was upset about being dropped off among the strangers. How did day 2 go?
The same. He definitely had some issues being separated from me and going to school. I think that this is probably going to be the thing this whole week, maybe the whole 2 weeks. I don't know.
Now, when I saw him yesterday afternoon, he seemed very happy.
Yeah, I had gone and picked him up from school. In fact, most of the time, by the time he gets his morning snack and goes outside to play on the playground, the teacher says he's fine. It's just, if I walk in the building and it's time for me to pick him up, it's like, I'm going with you and no questions asked.
Okay. So
then he had also ate a tube of chapstick yesterday, so that might have something to do with it too.
Now, wait. Now, he ate a tube of chapstick.
The entire tube. Yeah.
Now, I've never had that happen. Is that a health issue? Can somebody get ill from eating a tube of chapstick?
From what I can gather, no.
I guess because you're here.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
well, yeah.
There is that.
If you can get ill from it, you probably wouldn't be here.
Right. So apparently, no, you cannot get ill from eating a tube of chapstick. He didn't. So.
Well, for goodness sakes, we used to have those little wax bottles of Kool-Aid that you'd chew on and eat. Remember those back in the day?
Well,
Uncle?
yes.
And so if you could chew on a piece of wax and not get ill from it, I think chapstick that you're actually applying into your body shouldn't be too terrible. Probably not a choice to eat. Now, was this like flavored chapstick or just plain chapstick?
Yeah, it was flavored. It was blueberry. Actually.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
All right. So what happened? So he eats the chapstick, and then what do you do?
Well, first of all, I found out it was a chapstick. I was like, oh crap. I don't know if this kid is going to die or not. So then, of course, I reached out to some moms, and they gave me the number to Poison Control, who then assured me he'll be fine.
Well, yeah, I don't think we'd be allowed to have chapstick if you could die from it.
That is true.
FDA would have stepped in a long time
Right?
ago
If
with
you had
that
a
lethal
giant tube
chapstick.
with warnings all over.
Right, but one can never know because, every day this food is safe to eat, and then tomorrow it's going to give you the cancers.
That's true.
That is true.
So you've got to be so careful.
Okay. Well, it's typical that we are alarmed when a child eats something that they're not supposed to.
And children do tend to put all sorts of strange things into their mouths that they're not supposed to.
All the time.
Okay, so school, the drop-off, you're thinking this week may be problematic, but he'll get used to it.
Right.
And I did share with Ariel as we were walking into the building that one of my mother's stories about me, bless her heart, is that my first day of kindergarten, she said I was great. I got on the bus, I take off. She was upset, I was fine. It was the next day when I realized I thought school was a one-day thing. I go to school once and I'm done. That's it.
Okay.
And then it was day 2 that I had a fit. So,
Okay.
so I did share that with Ariel this morning. So it takes all kids,
Ariel, I hope everything goes great for drop-off day number 3. We're going to continue with more Uncle Henry Show. Stick with us.
Let's kick it off! Your shot at a trip.
Here on Facebook, let me check and see if we have Facebook viewers. I haven't looked this hour. Yes, we do. How about that? People are watching on Facebook. Angelo, you've brought some edged weapons. Have you brought anything else? Have you brought anything we haven't looked at yet?
Several, actually.
Okay.
And, matter of fact, one, oops, not the right one.
You're
There
wearing,
it is.
You're wearing more than one item around your neck.
Yes, sir.
All right, now what is this?
That's just a little neck knife that I bought a while back. I thought it was a cool little knife. And I have the normal knife that I wear all the time around my neck that I use for cutting limes and things like that. And that was just a nice, small little neck knife.
Now you call it a neck knife because a person would wear it around their neck.
Correct.
And I've never known anybody in my family that would wear them around the neck. I knew people that have, of course, carried them as pocket knives.
Right.
How popular is the idea of wearing a knife around your neck?
It's extremely popular with a lot of folks. It's actually very popular over in Europe as well. One of the things that I learned with talking to my French friend and my German friends and folks like that is that a lot of Europeans don't like to have a lot of bulky things in their pockets, contrary to Americans and how we carry everything in our pockets, it seems like. So a lot of times they will have a wallet or a knife that they wear under their shirt around their neck rather than putting it into their pockets.
So they actually have their wallet around their neck.
Correct.
Under the shirt.
Correct. So they'll have on a strap or string like that, so they can pull that out or just reach inside their shirt to grab, $20 or their credit card or whatever it is they need. They apparently like to have a slimmer look on their pants. No bulging. The traditional American huge wallet that's bulging out of your back pocket, not a cool thing over in Europe.
Well, it's not a cool thing for seriously. Actually, you can over time cause a back problem by having a big,
really.
Well, if you sit on it and you're
that's true. You're
out of balance.
You're warping yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
Twisting yourself.
All right. So this is just another thing the Europeans like to carry around their neck.
Just a nice little knife.
What is it called?
I don't know. It's actually written on the blade, my friend. I can't read it from here. It's Columbia River.
CRKT.
Columbia River Knife Company. That's the manufacturer.
Minimalist.
And that is the minimalist knife.
Now, is this a personal collection knife or something that you
If somebody wanted to pick it up
purchase?
at the shop, it will be there today when I get back.
Okay. Nice little knife.
It's just a nice, interesting little knife. Fits well in the hand.
In Europe, do thieves run up and grab grab whatever's around their neck and try and yank it off?
That's a good question, and I don't know the answer to that. I know that from what I understand, pickpocketing is a really big thing over in Europe, especially in the touristy areas, Rome, Paris, places like that. And I know that it's become a thing here in the States as well in some of the malls where they will take a razor blade or a utility knife and either cut a lady's purse strap or try to slice a person's, pocket to steal their wallet, bump up against them into a crowd, something like that. So a lot of issues with security and safety over there.
Wow. Okay. That's one day. See, that's what worries me about putting these microchips into people to pay for things.
Okay.
Well, there's the company in Wisconsin that puts the chip voluntarily in your hand here.
Right.
And then you can use the vending machine at work and all that. Because once we move away from wallets to chips, people are going to want to take a body part.
Right. And I certainly understand where that's going to be a disturbing problem and concern.
Yes.
I still don't get the idea of implanting that into your body. To me, that is just that's not a thing.
The company in Michigan that did it, I think I read that about half the employees did it voluntarily. The others opted out.
Well, why not put the chip into a piece of jewelry, put it into a ring, or put it into a charm bracelet, something like that, where you just walk up and it operates the same way. Why implant it into your body, for goodness sakes?
They want to track you, Angelo.
Exactly.
They want to track you. All right, stand by.
Be at about 50-50, so keep that umbrella close. The weather pattern remains unchanged as we head into the upcoming weekend. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News in this iHeartRadio station.
Your home for traffic and weather on the 9s every morning. This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here with Angelo, MobileBayCoins.com. I'm going to be at Mobile Bay Coins 9 to 10 today for a live episode of Ask the Expert on location at Mobile Bay Coins. We have news headlines coming up in about 10 minutes from Fox and from Local 15's Darwin. We've talked this morning about President Trump endorsing Luther Strange in this primary we've got going on with voting next week in Alabama, and really hard to determine what difference that'll make. Still not sure. We talked earlier about whether or not endorsements still matter. I don't know that they do.
Well, what's strange about all of this is that while we were talking about that, I got a text message from my mother who said she's been watching, Johnny Rivers on YouTube, and Mo Brooks has a lot of YouTube ads out there apparently. I didn't even know.
Johnny Rivers as in the musician?
As in the musician. She said she's
Your
listening.
mother
Johnny Rivers and Dan Fogelberg.
is watching Johnny Rivers and Dan Fogelberg videos.
And then getting interrupted with Mo Brooks commercials.
Okay, well, congratulations to Mo Brooks. He was because he was able to reach somebody that had fled traditional media and wanted to see what most of us do not want to watch. Dan, no offense to Dan Fogelberg, most of us don't want to watch Dan Fogelberg videos. And he was able to reach a Dan Fogelberg fan.
There you go.
How about that?
Now, whether or not she's going to vote for him is a whole different story, but she got the message.
That is interesting. Your mom watching Johnny Rivers and Dan Fogelberg videos.
Now, did either of them have one of these shows on TV back in the day?
Variety shows? No, I'm sure they were on a lot of variety shows. And Angela's bringing this up because we've marked the passing of the greatest entertainer possibly of the 70s, and that was Glenn Campbell, of Glenn Campbell's Good Time Hour, passing away at age 81.
Was it really called Glenn Campbell's Good Time Hour?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was a good time. It really was. Some of my favorite episodes included the comedy of Paul Lynde on the Glenn Campbell Good Time Hour.
Yeah, this is me with a blank look on my
but
face.
But back to the endorsement question. I don't know that endorsements matter. Don't most of us make up our own minds? Or
yes.
Well, that's just me and you, though. I don't know that maybe some people really are swayed by endorsements.
Well, I think there's a slight difference between, say, an endorsement and a testimonial. Like if I tell you, hey, Uncle Henry, this is a really, really great knife, and here's why, you're going to probably listen to me somewhat seriously because you know that I like knives and I'm passionate about them.
That's right.
But if I endorse a political candidate or I endorse a branded product, most of us nowadays look at that endorsement as, okay, they are getting some sort of kickback off of that, whether it's a paid endorsement or whether they're going to be getting a favor back for it or free coffee for life or whatever that happens to be. And I think that's where a lot of people get really cynical.
So when it comes to a political endorsement, there's a lot of cynicism involved,
Yes.
you're saying, because
Yes.
President Trump
For me, there is.
has endorsed Luther Strange, Big Luther, saying that Luther Strange has his complete and total endorsement. So you're thinking that something has been promised or that Luther Strange has gone down on one knee to pledge complete fealty and will vote whatever way. What do you think something like that's going on?
I think it's a combination of things. I think you nailed it earlier when you said that Mo Brooks had a lot of negative Trump campaigns or statements that were out there as part of the ads that were going on, and I think it has something to do with that.
Well, that actually may be the story.
And maybe there's a compromise going on. Maybe Big Luther, it's like, look, if I endorse you, back off on some of these things that you're slowing up, here with Congress. Maybe there's a compromise going on there.
I would like to know
I'm curious.
I do want the behind-the-scenes story of the Luther Strange endorsement. Maybe it was something as simple as showing Donald Trump some of these commercials with Mo Brooks.
Yeah.
The Mo Brooks videotape of him not being supportive along of Donald Trump.
This is President Trump. Who's to say next week he doesn't do something totally different?
Well, that's true. Just because Donald Trump likes you today doesn't mean he'll like you a week from today.
Do an exclusive interview with somebody and then call them a fool a week later. He's done things like that.
Okay. We're about to go into news headlines here in just a moment on the Uncle Henry Show, but Mo Brooks has released a statement today saying that he is disappointed and baffled that Mitch McConnell and the swamp have misled Donald Trump into endorsing Luther Strange. That also brings up the question of, does anyone really believe that President Trump could be misled by Mitch McConnell or the swamp itself? Most of us, well, I can't speak for you, the listener, and your great intellect, but I don't believe the president could be misled by Mitch McConnell and the swamp on really anything. We're about to take a break for news, traffic, weather, all of that. News from Fox, news from Local 15's Darwin. Then more here on the Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening. Keep in mind you can watch on the News Radio 710 WNTM Facebook page. We do have live video going. And in the commercial breaks, Angelo, it's show and tell.
Awesome.
And here we are on Facebook. The radio listener is hearing whatever it is that they're being forced to listen to. Right now, it's me and Angelo. What else do you want to show people? Is there anything we haven't shown people yet?
We've got a couple left. And this one, all you have to do is push the button to operate that knife.
To operate a knife.
Yep.
All right.
Push the button.
Here's the knife, and I'm going to push.
No, not the little, the silver button on the top.
Okay.
Ta-da! That's actually a military-grade Gerber 06. And the reason it's an automatic knife like that is so if a pilot, if an aviator is in distress, they've crashed or have some sort of trouble and they only have access, one hand is operational at that point, they can grab their knife, they can cut themselves out of their safety harness, and that knife is actually designed and capable of cutting through the plexiglass in a helicopter.
You could cut through plexiglass with this.
Yes, sir. That's one of the things it was designed to do.
Most of us don't have to do that.
Hopefully I never have to.
Okay.
But if I ever need to, I've got the knife ready.
All right. Well, this is a, do you like a knife that has a button on it?
I like a knife with a purpose. That one was designed for a specific task and a specific purpose for the U.S. military, and I like the fact that it was designed for that and does that job quite well. It's a good-looking knife.
It is a good-looking knife. Do knives, is this something that has to be maintained differently than a standard knife simply because it does have like a spring in it? Do I need to make sure I take care of it in a proper way?
You can oil that up every so often, but that has been in my knife case for several years now, and I do very little to maintain it or do anything with it.
Yeah, that is a great knife. That is a really, the Gerber knives, I've heard the brand name, of course, for quite some time.
Sure.
So it's synonymous with quality, craftsmanship.
They've been around for a long, long time, and a lot of their knives are made in Portland, Oregon. They've started outsourcing some of those, but this knife, since it is a military knife, is actually made in the United States. That's one of the qualifications. Gerber also does a lot of other military-grade tools for explosive disposal, things like that. A lot of cool things they make now.
Do you have that knife at Mobile Bay Coins?
It'll be back there with me today. So
okay.
Somebody wants to pick it up, it would be available.
Okay. 2204 Government Street in Midtown Mobile. Want to say good morning to Scotty White. He has started to watch on Facebook. Scotty White approaching a milestone. He's going to be turning 40.
The big 4-0.
Did you have any, do you associate any emotion to milestone birthdays?
Not at all. None whatsoever. I know,
None?
None. No, I know. Well, when I turned 50, we talked about that. I think I was actually on the air that day here, wasn't I?
I have no memory of that.
That was too far back, right?
Well, these shows, when a quarterback in football, I know you're not a football fan, But when a quarterback throws an interception, for example, he has to be able to forget that he threw the ball, or it'll screw up his future play.
So you forget every show as soon as you're done with it?
I forget every show.
So it's like a clean slate every day.
I forget the shows because I don't want to remember all the mistakes that occurred in the shows. Or otherwise I would be paralyzed with fear every time I'm on the air. So I like throwing interceptions. I forget every show as a self-defense mechanism. So I do not remember you being here on your
I turned 50
birthday.
And to me it was just another day. Like we've talked about, but we've talked a little bit about the fact that I think life is supposed to be full of experiences. You need to experience things to enjoy life and participate in life. You don't want to just sit on the sidelines or sit on the couch watching the game. You need to get out and do things and actively, pursue new experiences. And I try to do that.
So when a milestone birthday now many people, when they hit a milestone birthday, like 30, 40, 50, they think to themselves, or I think, I have not accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. Thus, this date is a bitter reminder of the things that have not been accomplished.
But why be negative? Why think about things negatively? Look at your life and say, look at all the things I have accomplished, and then maybe set some goals and say, well, these are some things that I need to accomplish. So put those down on
Modern Americans like to compare themselves with each other, especially now that we're all on social media.
Right.
So it's comparison, which has been called the thief of joy.
And and that's a silly thing to do, because there's always going to be somebody out there. If you look hard enough, you're going to find somebody out there that's stronger, smarter, faster, taller, whatever metric it is that you're using to compare yourself to other people. Somebody out there is better at it than you are, but nobody else can be a you as you can be. I can't imagine anybody else doing what you do and being you, who you are as a person. I'm me.
You associate no emotions with milestone birthdays.
Zero, nil.
Now, are you an emotional do you experience emotion?
Oh my goodness, yes.
So you're not like Spock.
No, I am not Spock-like.
You don't try to avoid your emotion. You still experience emotion.
No green blood, no Vulcan, in my genes. Sorry.
All right. So milestone birthdays, not any source of a problem for Angelo.
No, sir. Now Scotty White may have a different take on all of this, but that's coming up shortly for him.
And there's no telling what his philosophy will be.
That is true.
He's involved in so many odd things with Star Wars and all that. There's no telling what maybe there's some Star Wars philosophy of birthdays that we don't know about. All right, stand by. We're about to go back on the radio in 90 seconds.
Optima has access to a special IRS program called the Fresh Start Initiative, and their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. Optima is A-rated with the Better Business Bureau. Don't delay. Call now for your free consultation.
Call 800-259-4922. 800-259-4922.
Are you putting your retirement savings in a 401k, IRA, or investment account? Then I have one word of advice. Stop. Experts warn of a stock market crash any day now, and you could lose 50% or more of your hard-earned savings again. But you don't have to lose a penny. There's a better, safer way to save for retirement, and you can learn about it in a free report. This method continues to grow your money even when the market tumbles. To get this free report, go to bankonyourself.com. That's bankonyourself.com. Bankonyourself.com.
For over 4 decades, Spring Hill Toyota has helped folks in Mobile and surrounding areas get from point A to point B. Besides having one of Alabama's best selections of new Toyotas and used vehicles, we continue to offer award-winning service, out-the-door pricing, and trade offers in 30 minutes or less. So no matter where life takes you, take advantage of the Spring Hill advantage. Join us for quality service, huge selection, and massive savings. Located on Government Boulevard or at springhilltoyota.com, where our people make the difference.
Traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 9s every morning. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
We've arrived at the Daily Reagan here on News Radio 710 WNTM and 99.5 The Jag. Here is the president.
Of all the objectives we seek, first and foremost is the establishment of lasting world peace. We must always stand ready to negotiate in good faith, ready to pursue any reasonable avenue that holds forth the promise of lessening tensions and furthering the prospects of peace. But let our friends and those who may wish us ill take note. The United States has an obligation to its citizens and to the people of the world never to let those who would destroy freedom dictate the future course of life on this planet.
The Daily Reagan. Thank you for listening to the Daily Reagan on the Uncle Henry Show. Here with Angelo of Mobile Bay Coins. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to try and make contact with Darwin of Local 15, find out what he's covering. Been watching the situation with North Korea. The North Koreans looking at Guam as a possible target. As you might imagine, the people of Guam, they are not excited about this. The governor of Guam, Eddie Calvo, says he wants to be ready.
I've reached out to the White House this morning. An attack or threat on Guam is a threat or attack on the United States. They have said that America will be defended.
And that's good news for the people of Guam.
Guam is American soil. And we have 200,000 Americans in Guam and the Marianas. We are not just a military installation.
This is trying to look for the positive. This is at least increasing awareness of Guam.
That is true.
They don't come up in conversation probably as often as they should. So Guam, nobody wants to have missiles aimed at them, especially from North Korea. I've mentioned this a few times on the air, Angelo. Imagine how the people in Japan are reacting to all this, because they know what it's like to be in an atomic war.
Oh, exactly.
They're the only people.
Right.
So they have got to be, just imagine what's going on psychologically with a lot of people in Japan.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder where they're weighing in on all of this, because they've been relatively quiet. Obviously, everybody's heard what the United States, China, and Russia are saying about all this, but Japan is right there.
They are, and they've been conducting drills.
Of course.
They've been conducting drills to make sure that they're prepared also for anything. I just don't see, like most people, I don't see how anything positive comes out of this for North Korea, all of this. More right after traffic and weather on the Uncle Henry Show.
Time saver traffic from the Dean McCrary Audi Traffic Center.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock. It's morning. Here's an eye-opener. LifeLock can see more threats to your identity than you can see if you're just monitoring your credit. And if something happens, a U.S.-based specialist can work to fix it. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to save 10%.
Look for an accident on southbound Highway 43 right in front of the Waffle House in Satsuma. It's also the first day back to school for the kids in Satsuma. School zone hours are in effect, and the Mobile Bay Ferry System will be operating on the two-ferry schedule today, taking RVs and trailers 25 feet and under. With time-saver traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday, everybody. It's going to feel like a steam bath early by the afternoon, about a 50-50 shot of wet weather. We're going to be flirting with 90 degrees for the high today. Dress light, keep the umbrella close, and we're going to keep the status quo as we head into Thursday. The weather pattern remains unchanged as we head into the weekend. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News in this iHeartRadio station.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock. It's morning. Here's an eye-opener. LifeLock can see more threats to your identity than you can see if you're just monitoring your credit. And if something happens, a U.S.-based specialist can work to fix it. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to save 10%.
News? Check. Traffic and weather? Check. Opinions? Check. This is the Uncle Henry Show, only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I'm going to try and get in touch with Darwin here in just a few minutes. Angela's here from Mobile Bay Coins. Talked a lot yesterday about the debate that Local 15 had Monday night with Sam Jones and Standy Simpson. And I bring it up again because Local 15 did a fact check. They did a fact check on the debate to go over some of the things said by the candidates, and they pointed out several things. One of the things they pointed out is Sam Jones said that crime is higher than it's been in some time now, or maybe ever. And they were able to show that we have had an increase in the murder rate over the last year. The crime stats show overall crime rate trending downward and has been for years. They also found some inaccuracies and things that Sam Jones said about Standy Simpson resigning from the Kama Cowboys, and also the financial situation of the city. That so in essence, they picked out 3 or 4 things that Sam Jones had said,
right,
and said that those were not actually. He was not being accurate.
Well,
to put it diplomatically, he was not being accurate in his debate performance.
That's a nice way of putting it. And as we talked about earlier, Angelo did not watch the debate, but Angelo did look at the fact checking on your website or on the News Radio 710 Facebook page.
What's going on?
I love the fact that he was talking in third person partway through the.
Well, there were times he talked about himself in third person again,
and then switched it up.
I don't mind that because it's sometimes I enjoy.
It drives me nuts.
I enjoy being entertained. When the political figures also entertain, why not? It makes it more fun.
Okay.
I'm watching these things saying I wish that I never had to watch another one of these things ever again.
And then you're watching it anyway.
So I have to. So at least refer to yourself in the third person or say something wacky. Make it not the torturous thing that it ends up being.
Wear a beanie propeller hat or something. You know, I like your attitude about that. Some of those things aggravate me, get my blood pressure up, and get me stressed. I'm going to try to take your attitude and just watch those things for the entertainment value and not let it get to me.
Well, it's just it's a little.
I'll try to be a little more like you.
It spices things up when a candidate starts talking about themselves in the third person. A lot of athletes do it,
right?
And that's maybe not as entertaining because it shows probably a little too much ego,
right?
Especially in team sports. But yeah, I don't mind the talking about themselves in the third person. They didn't mention that. By the way, in the fact check that Local 15 did, they did not mention that Sam Jones was referring to himself at times in third person. Now that's available at their website, local15tv.com, if you want to read through the brief article where they are fact checking the debate. There's going to be another TV station that's going to do a debate next week, and I think that one is going to be in front of a crowd.
Oh, really?
So that'll be a completely different dynamic.
I might like to show up for that one.
That will be a completely different dynamic for that debate. All right, we're going to try and get in touch with Darwin, Local 15. That is coming up on the Uncle Henry Show.
Today at 2, Sean Hannity.
How much is a condom?
Can we talk about health care?
Options.
There we go.
This size.
Oh, boy.
This flavor.
News Radio 710, WNTM.
Take care of your skin. See Dr. Thomas Bender at Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center. Dr. Bender sees patients in Mobile, Daphne, and Bay Minette. Find out more online at advanceddermclinic.com.
Mo Brooks is defending his attacks on President Trump. Just the other day, Brooks bragged about his Trump attacks.
I have never taken back any of the words or comments I made during the 2016 election. Let's be real clear about that.
Remember, Mo Brooks personally attacked Donald Trump to stop him from being president.
I don't think you can trust Donald Trump with anything he says. He has alienated so many people in Republican Party ranks through his callous insults. Donald Trump, one candidate that is so belittling, so insulting.
Mo Brooks continued his crusade to stop Trump just before the election, calling him evil. Asked before the election if he would vote for Trump, Brooks said,
That means you're going to vote for Donald Trump.
I didn't say that.
Remember what Brooks said about Trump voters?
Donald Trump voters, 12 to 18 months from now, they're going to regret their votes for Donald Trump.
35-year career politician Mo Brooks, a history of attacking President Trump, a never-Trump politician.
I'm Luther Strange, candidate for U.S. Senate. I approve this message.
Paid for by Strange for Senate.
Here with Ron of Mobile Bay Coins. Ron, if I'm going to sell a coin or jewelry, what's the best piece of advice you can give me?
Would be shop it around, get multiple offers, make sure you get the most for your item, for your buck. Same thing when you're buying, shop around what people are selling that item for, whether it's gold, silver, estate jewelry items. Make sure you're not paying too much for an item. The thing that sickens me the most is when an estate comes in and we find out that somebody paid sometimes 100 times too much what they could have got the same item for, or they were sold items with great packaging and great boxes, but the items contained therein were worth almost nothing. So shop it around, be smart about it, and come by Mobile Bay Coins. We can make recommendations based on the items you have, your avenues available to you.
So if I understand you correctly, the best piece of advice is shop it around.
Shop it around.
Shop it around. Mobile Bay Coins, 2204 Government Street in Midtown Mobile. Look for them on Facebook. You'll also find them online at mobilebaycoins.com.
And now a look back at this week in history. It housed some of the worst criminals in America, like Al Capone, George Machine Gun Kelly. In its 29-year run, more than 1,500 convicts were kept there. And this week in 1934, the first federal prison inmates arrived on Alcatraz Island in San Francisco Bay. This week in 1945, the United States exploded a nuclear bomb over Nagasaki, Japan. Nicknamed Fat Man, the bomb killed an estimated 74,000 people and put an end to World War II. A 24-year-old postal employee named David Berkowitz was arrested in Yonkers, New York this week in 1977. He claimed that demons and his neighbor's black Labrador retriever told him to kill. Berkowitz was accused of being the Son of Sam gunman, whose year-long series of attacks killed 6, wounded 7, and terrorized New York City. And this week in 1985, the Beatles and other artists no longer own the publishing rights to some of their own music, when Michael Jackson paid $47.5 million to buy the ATV music catalog, which included about 250 Lennon-McCartney songs. The venture is now called Sony ATV and is valued at more than $2 billion.
That's your look back at This Week in History.
Get cash for your home improvements with no money out of pocket and lower your monthly payments. Call Hometown Lenders in Mobile, 251-470-1030. It's fast and easy with Hometown Lenders.
NMLS number 65084, Equal Housing Lender.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Look for an accident on southbound Highway 43 right in front of the Waffle House in Satsuma. It's also the first day back to school for the kids in Satsuma. School zone hours are in effect, and the Mobile Bay Ferry System will be operating on the 2-ferry schedule today, taking RVs and trailers 25 feet and under. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock. It's morning. Here's an eye-opener. LifeLock can see more threats to your identity than you can see if you're just monitoring your credit. And if something happens, a U.S.-based specialist can work to fix it. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to save 10%.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday, everybody. You can bank on more steam heat today. We will be flirting with 90 degrees for the high temperature. Half the viewing area getting wet. Our coverage will be at about 50-50, so keep that umbrella close. The weather pattern remains unchanged as we head into the upcoming weekend. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News in this iHeartRadio station.
You're home for Rush every weekday at 11. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. News headlines coming up from Fox and from Local 15 in about 10 minutes. Here with Angelo of Mobile Bay Coins, and we've got Darwin with us from Local 15. Darwin, good morning.
Good morning. I thought you might greet me with a little Glenn Campbell music this morning.
Well, I keep thinking I might be the only Glenn Campbell fan.
Oh, no. Good heavens. He was, all of us who are a little more mature in our age, we remember him quite well.
Well, I always advocated for Glenn Campbell to be invited to Bayfest. I believe that had he been invited, it would have saved it. Yes, absolutely, it would have saved it.
Oh,
people like me would have gone down there at 3 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon to see Glenn Campbell.
Yeah, and I actually remember years ago. I'm from a little town called Hazard, Kentucky. But when our big bank there celebrated its big anniversary, I forget what year it was, they actually flew him in to do a concert, and it was quite spectacular. This was back in the '80s, but it was he was quite a character. It has his own TV show. A lot of people probably remember that. And so he had some great music too. Wichita Lineman, an unbelievable song. Really good music.
Incredible music. And a lot of young people would be surprised to know that not only was he on TV, big recording star, he was also one of the top features on things like the National Enquirer because of his romance with Tanya Tucker.
Tanya Tucker, that's right. Yeah, they had quite a fling going on there for a while.
Yes, they did. But before we run out of time, there are a lot of things I could ask you about, Darwin. I'm really curious about, you've got a story at your website. I'd not heard about this before, about the old City Hall North building in downtown Mobile also getting a makeover where they might put apartment units in that as well. And we've got two other big projects where people are going to have residential opportunities in downtown, and now this third. It looks like downtown is becoming a destination for people to live.
Actually, if you count the Pike Stapleton building that's being done, I think there's maybe 20 units in there. I would just try to count up. If you think there might be, in many of these apartments or condos, 2 people at least living, we could get as many as 800 to 1,000 people downtown living that we don't have there right now. It's pretty exciting.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, you think back to the 1990s, and this I don't know that I ever would have imagined this.
Well, downtown is becoming, especially for younger people that are getting out of college and they're getting into professions, they really want to live in that kind of environment. And not just them. There's a lot of people. I'll just tell you now, if I weren't already absolutely happy and set in my ways in Midtown, I would love to live downtown right now. But I'm pretty satisfied with where I am in my little house on Houston Street. So, it's really exciting to see the energy come downtown. There's a new palpable change down there. You can feel it and taste it, really, when you go downtown now.
Now, what if, is there anything they could put in downtown that would lure you there as a resident? What if they put like a Dollar General down there?
Oh, my gosh. Well, there you have it. I mean, just to be able to get really good prices on merchandise you need every day. That's something that might make them a game changer there, Uncle Henry. I know that I see you shopping there a lot as well.
Absolutely.
So, you never know.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
All right. Also, is there a story that you wanted to make sure we brought up that you've been covering today?
That we've been covering? Well, I guess it's just yesterday we had a lot of people zooming through school zones. I really want to hit on that pretty heavy because we had I think 70 people that were pulled over and given tickets for speeding through school zones, and then there were other offenses as well: no insurance, not wearing seat belts. But speeding through a school zone, we've got to do better than that. So I think that's the big thing that we covered this morning that I really want to stress that could probably be of most use to our viewers and the people who live in our community.
Hey, Darwin, I'm here with a friend of mine, Angelo, who lives near Murphy, and he says that this time of year when school starts, it's a huge traffic nightmare.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm over there, off of Imogene Street, the other side of Murphy from where you're at, And from about 6:45 to about 7:20, you've got all these kids that are just, you'd think you're in NASCAR or something, because they don't even slow down at the stop signs. They're panicking to get to school on time or whatever it is. I've learned I can't leave my house between 6:45 and 7:15 without running the risk of some teenager running over me.
So you're basically saying that it isn't just all people on their way to work. You're saying that it's some of the students at the school that are probably the biggest offenders there.
There's a combination of things. You're absolutely right that a lot of folks have forgotten about the fact that there's a school zone there, and they're zipping down Government Street or wherever they're going anyway and driving too fast. But my goodness, a lot of these kids really need to pay a little more attention. They're young drivers to begin with, so as we all know, young drivers tend to have some growing pains there on learning all the things they're supposed to be doing, but they're texting, they're running stop signs, they're not sure where they're going, they're not paying attention to anything that's going on around them. It's not fun this time of year.
Yeah, in fact, I just saw a report not long ago that older teenagers are worse drivers because they think they have mastered it, and the younger drivers that just got their license are the ones that are more cautious. So
that makes sense.
As they get more toward the end of school, like juniors and seniors, they get a little bit more confident, maybe overconfident.
Little too cocky, huh?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. And I don't know how you fix that unless you're sitting there with the old radar gun and give them a ticket as well.
That'll do it.
Sometimes that's the only way that it'll speak to people. I mean, hitting them in the pocketbook.
Darwin, we're out of time here, but thank you. Enjoy our chat every morning.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you appreciate the fine music of Mr. Glenn Campbell, 81 years old.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Darwin. Yes. Darwin, Local 15. We have headlines with Darwin coming up in less than 5 minutes here on News Radio 710 WNTM and 99.5 The Jag. What a wonderful thing that Darwin did bring up Glenn Campbell. Makes me I don't feel as alone. All right. There's more to come. There's more Uncle Henry Show to come. Stick with us, please.